Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sharon Porter. I am the Senior Vice President of Public Relations, and thank you for joining us today for the Getting Back to Business Procurement webinar with our Senior Vice President of Procurement, Dan Eads. Dan is going to be talking about over $8 million in contract opportunities that the agency will be offering over the next several months. It's important that everyone understands that while our main business obviously is housing and real estate development, we have a huge variety of needs, everything from PR needs to catering needs to printing needs. So there's something for everyone. Dan, and if you have any questions, we're going to ask that you put them in the chat and we'll answer all questions at the end. Thank you so much. Enjoy the webinar.
Alrighty, again, my name's Dan Eads, and I appreciate you attending the session today. We did a similar session to this back in July, but this is an opportunity to get back in touch because I think we all thought to a certain extent we might be returning to normal back then, but as we know with the other variants of the virus, we hadn't quite got back. So we're calling this one Getting Back to Business. And, we've dealt with so many things, but we still have a lot of needs. Our property staff have a lot of challenges with staffing issues and this and that. So we are trying to look for basically outsourcing some of the services and things of that nature. So this is an opportunity to get before you and discuss some of those and how to do business with us so that you can participate in those opportunities. So I know a few people are somewhat surprised that we haven't changed our name, because for 80 years we've been known as the Housing Authority. We recently changed to INLIVIAN, and the reason was because there's some stigmas around traditional housing and things of that nature. So we decided to make the name change, and also we don't do quite traditional housing anymore because the business models have kind of changed. But this is to more reflect what we are, and that's to try to lift people up, enliven, and that's where INLIVIAN comes for. It's to restore to life, give to life, and it reflects on the mission that we have to help people succeed. Now, just to give you an idea of what our mission is, we develop, operate, and provide quality housing and sustainable communities of choice for residents from different diverse income backgrounds. We currently have about 26,510 people. And one of the programs we do is we try to assist people to become homeowners, and that's been pretty successful. We've helped 130 families achieve the goal of home ownership. We have 42 properties that we own and manage, and we have a few properties that are also managed by third-party property management companies. We also have a very active scholarship program, and we've awarded 907 scholarships to INLIVIAN students. Now, we're briefly going to go over kind of the procurement process, or how you can, partner with us and work with us as we try to.
Dan, I have to interrupt you for Dan. Yeah. Your screen is not moving.
Oh, okay. Let me get back there. Thank you for letting me know.
Still on the cover screen.
Okay.
So now we see the procurement process.
Okay.
Now we see where all the dollars are spent in 2022 capital project. Okay.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, and so so where most of our dollars are spent is, as Sharon had mentioned, we have about $8 million, and that's for like maintaining the property. So that would be for services such as janitorial, landscaping, pest control. We are always in need of people to do vacancy prep. In other words, when somebody vacates an apartment, they come in, paint, do flooring, tiling, and all that work to bring it back to our standards and that. But we also have it's $23 million in all next year, because a lot of that's going to be new construction. We do have some new construction and rehabilitation projects that'll be coming out next year. We have some repair projects for like external siding and things of that nature. We'll also need some professional services. We've got We're going to be looking for banking services and insurance services next year, as well as tenant services for our core group. We also are going to do, we got some projects coming up with paving, HVAC. We've got a lot of plumbing projects coming up, and appliance replacement are going to be some big ones. Roofing repair as well. So these are just a lot. We got a lot going on next year as we're hoping to get back to business as normal. So the main way to interact with us or get involved with us, if you're not, is that the first step is to go to our procurement website. So we have actually two procurement websites. We have INLIVIAN.procureware.com and HDP.procureware.com. And I would advise you to go to both of those and just register. It's fairly simple. You go to the website, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner that says register. You just click on that. You follow as it asks you the cues to enter your information. And some of the important information we need to get your insurance information. If you're working on our sites, we need to make sure that you have the proper general liability and workers' compensation. If you are an MWBE in Section 3, we do have standard insurance requirements that we have, but we are willing to sometimes work if you're a very small business and meeting them is difficult. We definitely will work with you through our risk management group. We'll also need your W-9 or your tax form, and that's basically to ensure that once you completed the work, you're paid properly and all that. It's also important on this website to indicate if you're an MWBE or a Section 3. It'll ask you for that information. And the reason that's important is because, INLIVIAN is dedicated to, trying to promote small and underutilized businesses. Section 3 businesses are those low and very low income businesses or residents of ours. We try to, get opportunities for them to, participate with us as they're trying to grow their businesses. There are some rules and regulations that we do have to follow. And what that is we do get some funding from HUD. They have a procurement handbook. So when we get federal dollars, we do have to follow a procurement process. And that's why when you see the website, you'll notice that there's some only our larger opportunities are up there $100,000 and more. The smaller opportunities are done at the site level, and they're quoted time to time. And that's basically when we're getting HUD money. We're required to do that type of advertising. There's also a procurement policy that we follow, best practices, and that's just to ensure that we're getting a proper amount of quotes. We're giving, people the opportunity to do business with us as it comes up, and that we have, we don't have any conflicts of interest or anything like that. So that was passed by our board, both we INLIVIAN and HDP boards, and we also have to follow the federal statutes for procurement when we do receive the federal funds, just to make you aware of those. If you wonder why, if you see some of our larger RFPs, there's a lot of language there, and that's what that's from. So I just want to go into a little bit of the MWBE and Section 3. As I said, for MWBE certifications, at INLIVIAN, we accept certifications from any of the recognized certification boards. So this would be the Department of Administration, the Office of Historically Underutilized Businesses. We work closely with the City of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. We accept their certifications. We accept the certifications from the Carolinas National Minority Supplier Development Council. A lot of times people will come to us and they've been certified by other housing authorities or cities or agencies, and we'll take a look at those. We'll, as long as it's a regulated certification organization, will accept them. We can also do certifications. We're not asked to very often because most people go through the other larger organizations for that, but we can help you with that if you need that assistance. For Section 3, so this is a HUD mandate. It comes from them, and when we get their funding or whatever, we have to follow that, and we must provide economic opportunities to very low income individuals and businesses whenever the HUD money is being spent. Now, this can be, if you come to us and you need to get certified or you've been certified, typically what happens is we look at the Charlotte region. Every year there's a yearly income an individual can make, and if they fall, their family household is like 1, 2, or 3, 4 people, if you fall under there, you would qualify, and we would verify that through typically like your tax returns or something like that. We do certifications for that, and we do have forms available and all that. We'd be happy to help anybody who'd like to become certified or believes they do. And even if you think you do, I can at least send you the forms and you can take a look at them, and you can pretty easily determine if you would, you know, be eligible for that or not. Also, if you have a business, so for instance, our security company employs a significant number of Section 3 certified people or our residents. So if you have a lot of our residents who are working for you and you document that and it's a certain percentage, we can also certify your company even if your company itself is making a little over what that would be. So we definitely encourage employment of our residents. So our MWB agency goal annually is we try to spend 28% of our spend with those. We've been doing very well. I think last year we were right at about 30% that we had spent with MWBE companies. And for Section 3, our employment goal is 30%. Our housing trade subcontracting goal, so when we do the larger construction projects, if there's subcontractors on there, we would like to see about 10% of them to be Section 3 certified, or that they have a number of residents as employees to meet that certification. And for professional trades, we like to see 3%, and that's the goal we try to meet. Again, we've always exceeded. I've been with INLIVIAN since 2018, and even before my time there, we've always exceeded our goals, which has been good, because if you don't meet your Section 3 goals in particular, you have to come up with a plan on how you do that with HUD. So we try to always do that outreach and make sure that we maintain our goals. So again, this is just restating that we accept the state hub office. These are the ones I see the most: state hub office, the city of Charlotte. I see Mecklenburg County a lot. The Carolina Minority Supplier Diversity Council, the National Minority Supplier Diversity Council. Those are probably the most recognizable ones that we see. So if you've got a certification for any of those, we accept all of those. Also, as I said, INLIVIAN staff can classify businesses that are not certified, and we can go ahead that if you meet the needs and you demonstrate that you do, we can certify you as an MWBE as well if that's necessary. So if you don't have the certification but you believe you meet it, you can discuss that with us, and we'd be happy to walk you through that process. So basically, we don't have a very large procurement group. It's primarily myself and Lakeista Freeman-Childs, who works with me. We both are located at the main building at 400 East Boulevard. I've got our emails here so that you can feel free to contact us whenever you need to. You can also, if you forget our email, if you just send an email to procurement@inlivian.com, that reaches us as well. So like I said, there's a few projects going on right now that we are currently really looking for help with, and one of them is we are having some issues. So we are having staffing issues like everybody else at our different properties around the city, and we are looking for people who can come out. It's primarily janitorial service, maybe landscaping services would be interested, but it's policing the property for litter and trash pickup on a daily basis. It would be something our staff would normally do, but we're so short-staffed at some of the properties right now. We're looking to outsource that and get help from the business community for somebody who might be interested in that opportunity. So if it's something you are interested about, feel free to contact me, and I'd be happy to get those properties that we're interested in looking at out to you. We're also always looking for landscaping. We've had a rough year for landscaping, as our landscape vendors have had a lot of staffing issues themselves. We've had some turnover in landscape vendors and this and that. So we do plan at the beginning of the year, so shortly after the holidays, it is very likely we're going to be going out with another RFP to get a number of qualified landscapers under contract with us to just perform your typical landscape services at our different apartments. We also have a few properties that have pools at them, and that's been another issue sometimes with us, is getting pool maintenance for those. Our staff do not typically maintain the pools, so if that's your area of business and you have interest, feel free to contact me. We'll also be putting those on the Procure website. And so if you're registered on there, you'll get a notification of when we are looking for those. Also next year, as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at banking services and also our insurance services. So those are a couple of larger ones that'll be coming out. We're always looking for vacancy prep services. So as I said, these are people who do painting, cleaning of vacant apartments. We need anything from drywall, carpentry, tiling, flooring, all of those type of services we are looking for. We have HVAC companies that are currently under contract, but we don't have a lot of them, and we're always looking to grow that list of qualified companies that provide that type of service. So if that's something that you do, please contact us, and we'd be happy to discuss it with you. Those are just a few of the different services we need. But as you can imagine, just about anything with housing, anything with maintaining apartment complexes and things like that is what we're obviously interested in. So if that's something up your alley, feel free to contact us. And as I said, we send that information all the time out through the Procure site. So you'll get a notification as we are looking through there as well. So it's kind of a shorter presentation because I don't really want, don't want to take up too much of your lunchtime. I know everybody's time is valuable, and you probably would like to eat a little lunch during your lunchtime. So at this time, I tried to cover as much as I could, but basically the main point is we're hoping next year that we're going to get back to business as normal. We're definitely facing staffing issues and trying to get our property service just like everybody else. I think everybody's undergoing the same thing. So we just wanted to make you aware of those opportunities and hopefully assist you with those and anything else you might need. So I'll leave it up to you if you have any questions. I think I did, but I think I need to.
Well, no, Dan, I'm going to come in. And
I was going to say,
ask,
you read them, right? They can't talk.
Yeah, I can. This is Sharon again for everyone. I'm the Senior Vice President of Public Relations. Dan, just a couple of questions here.
Yes.
I know you spoke to the landscaping and property management, but what other opportunities do you see coming down the pike in the next several months outside of those things?
Yeah, it's funny. There's quite a few janitorial companies who are always asking, what they can do. And like I said, I think that policing of the outside areas at the properties is what we're looking for. So initially we were just looking at a couple properties we were wanting to get pricing for. But I was talking to the person who oversees all of our properties, and she told me that they're having issues everywhere. So she's wanting me to get, as soon as I can, quotes for that service. And basically what that service entails is you would basically just go to one of our properties. You'd be contracted to do it at that property. So you would walk the area, pick up any trash, just try and make sure that our residents, when they, see the place every day, that it's neat, it's kept up, it looks like we're maintaining it. I mean, that's important to a lot of people. The main things that I'll get complaints of, that people get upset with who live in our properties, is if the pest control is not done properly, and we are looking for new pest control companies. So that's something. Trash pickup and trash collection is very important. Security. Although we just entered into a new security contract, but sometimes we are looking for additional security, or we increase our security. That's the main ones. And like you said, landscaping and vacancy prep, as I mentioned before. Vacancy prep is just always, there's a lot of turnover in that service, and we are constantly looking for people to do vacancy prep. But like I said, it's basically, we got a large siding project that's coming up. So anybody who does siding type of work. We do have some roofing that's going to be coming up to maintain some of them. And we do have, I've heard from our construction group, there's at least 3 very large projects that are going to be coming down, and they will need a lot of they'll, obviously be looking for subcontracting help as they're issued those large construction contracts. So we'll definitely be looking for that as well in the coming year.
So when you say vacancy prep, what does that mean, vacancy prep?
Yeah, so it's primarily, so if you can imagine when you've ever rented an apartment or whatever, and you've left a house, it's not always left in perfect condition. And so what the vacancy prep people do, and the things we almost always need, is either flooring or cleaning of the flooring. Typically we replace, if it's carpeting or laminate flooring or things like that. If it's not in very good shape, we'll replace it. but sometimes we can clean it, and we look for janitorial services that will come in and clean those and do a cleanup generally. We also always need paint, so we typically repaint all the units whenever they're being turned over. But a lot of times there'll be damages to like the walls, so we need drywalling work, carpentry work. Sometimes if it's a unit that's been lived in for some time, we'll update the cabinetry and we'll update the countertop surfaces, and we'll often look to have that done. And it can even go into sometimes, there's been electrical problems they haven't brought to maintenance attention. So it can be any of those typical trades that you would see inside. But the primary ones is paint, flooring, general cleanup. Those are almost always used. So we try to keep a list of qualified folks who are out there that our staff can go to whenever they do have somebody who's vacated an apartment and we need to get it turned over. We typically need to do that very quickly because obviously a unit that's not being used isn't doing anybody any good.
And I think I understand there's some signage, right? Because I think we'll be replacing the signs at all of our properties.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that to me yesterday. I'm sorry. Yeah, there is. So as you know, with the name change of INLIVIAN, we've changed some of our signage. If you come by our main building at 400 East, you'll notice that all of our signage has changed to INLIVIAN and here and there, but we haven't really done it in all of the communities. So our staff is going to be working on getting out solicitation basically to put the updated INLIVIAN logo or what on the signages around the different properties. And I was told to expect that one to be coming up in the very near future. So that would be a good opportunity for any sign companies looking for an opportunity to do business with us.
So yeah, any graphic design, any sign companies. And so I as the head of PR, oversaw that. And I know that's going to be under property management, but I'll have my hand in it. And so working with large signs, we have all types of properties. And so we're talking about probably signage of about 50 different properties that will have to be designed for the site. Some may have lighting, some may not have lighting, as well as consistency through all. So we're looking probably about large property signage for about, I would say probably on average about 50 or so companies. 50 or so properties. That'll be the removal, the design, and the installation. So that should be a nice size contract, I would imagine.
Yes,
for sure. And so, Dan, can you talk quickly just about, because people are always concerned about, delays in getting paid and how we get paid. I think we've really made some changes there, correct?
Yeah, we have. So, it was about a year ago we started, or maybe it was a little more than that. We've had a couple of vendor surveys. The first one, that was one of the biggest complaints that we had was, we promised to get an invoice paid within 30 days. And there's some things that go along with that. You have to have a purchase order. So you would get a purchase order from us to do the work. You put your purchase order on the invoice, and sometimes that wasn't always being done and things that. So as Sharon said, when we started looking at some of the complaints, we started looking at our process and what can we do to speed that up. So one of the main things we implemented is we have a new software that runs the invoices through them so that we can get the approvals done quickly. Because what a lot of times happens is somebody gets an invoice to approve, it goes over to them, it sits around on their desk for a number of days. They finally get around to it, not all of them, but there's some, this happens here and there, and that's what we were finding. Well, this system, it keeps everybody accountable. It basically counts how many days did you have it? Have you, done anything with it? Have you approved it, or did you go back to the vendor to discuss maybe some issues you had with it, or this or that? And that's been a real benefit. So when we did the last survey, and I got almost very few, maybe one or two. We have really reduced the time it takes. And one of the big reasons we want to do that is we understand that small businesses, they can't wait, forever to get paid. Sometimes they've got employees, or they're working maybe is partnered with another company, and they need to get their funds to them. They don't have the ability and the capital to sit waiting on invoices. It's very important. And that's something when I've been in even small business seminars or MWBE outreaches, that's one of the biggest complaints they've had as well, is because they just don't, they're small, they don't have the funds to sit around waiting for invoices to get paid like larger companies can afford to do.
And yeah, so as someone who has to use it, I think my vendors are very happy. I have not heard any complaints.
Yeah, it is
about where's
definitely
their check. They're
definitely
all
reduced.
very, yes, it has been reduced. Okay, and so, and how quickly, how time consuming is it to enroll online into our e-procurement plan so that people are just in the system? Is that a long process? Is that a lot of files that people need to be prepared with?
No, it's been very simplified. We used to have an older system called eBid, and that's been updated, or it's been reformed, updated, and everything basically brought into the newer times as Procureware. So we don't require any real paper. The only thing you would upload is two forms: your certificate of insurance and your W-9 tax information. That's the only forms you would upload to us. And if you have any problems with that, sometimes people have upload problems. They don't have a scanner maybe to do it. If you ever have an issue with that, and you said, hey, that's the only time I ever get anything is they'll say, hey, I went up there, but I couldn't upload my certificate of insurance. Like I've had people just take pictures on their smartphone and text it to me. As long as I have the certificate, that's what I need to make sure that your coverages are up to date and that they meet our requirements. But otherwise, when you go to the Procureware site, like if you were to go to INLIVIAN Procureware, go on there. There's a button right at the top. Like I said, it's like a red button. It just says register or register now. I think it just says register. You would just click on that, and then it'll just kind of bring up the form. You just walk through. It basically is just getting your information. But some of the information it will ask is it'll ask you like even what type of work do you do, and what that helps us out for is if we have certain specific types of work going out, we'll send it to those group of people who do that type of a thing. A lot of times though, that you'll just find that if you are registered, you almost see every opportunity that goes up there. I think it alerts you to everything, but you can opt out of getting everything. And I have gotten, I have a person who had janitorial called me up a couple of weeks ago and said, look, I only want to see the janitorial stuff. And I was able to get it so she just could get selected for janitorial. But a lot of people like to see everything. But the other thing, like I said, is also important is if you're on there and you are an MWBE or Section 3, or you have some sort of a certification from like Hub or any of the other certifying boards, and you just put that information on there, that's always important too, because we are really cognizant of capturing that information, because like I said, we have to report to our board. They're pretty, I mean, it's a pretty high visibility thing that we want to make sure that we're giving those opportunities and assisting our community to the best that we can. And if you have any problems, like I said, just call and ask us, because I know I had a person who had a problem the other day, something wasn't going right. And I can always, if you've registered, I can go look in, and sometimes if it's something simple, I can finish your registration for you even, or just help you or whatever. That's what we're here to do. So you can either get a hold of Lakeista or myself, and we'd be happy to do that.
All right. Well, if no one has any more questions, Dan, I want to thank you for sharing these opportunities, and we'll do this again in the coming year to bring it directly to everyone who is interested in working with us in your small business. And oh, before I go, Dan, why do we like working with small and local businesses?
Yeah, well, it's just, because we're, Charlotte is our community. We're trying to promote those businesses within our community as they try to grow. It's important, and you'll notice not only from INLIVIAN, the city of Charlotte. So we're teamed with, there's us, Atrium Health, city of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. We all are looking to promote small businesses in our area. And the reason is because we not only want to grow the businesses that are within our communities, but they're a lot of times they're better able to service us. They're right here in the community. They can come right out. So that's important too. And it's just good because we get a lot of federal funds, and we get a lot of public funding to give people who don't normally have the opportunities to get contracts a chance to do so, and a chance to not only maybe get their business started, but oftentimes to grow their business. And that's why, like Sharon mentioned, making sure we pay in a timely fashion, making sure that we can try to get opportunities out to you, being there to, try to assist you whenever we can. That's what that's one of our main goals. So while we're in our procurement department, our main focus is not only procurement, that's our biggest focus, but it's MWBE and Section 3. We do try to do a lot of work there, and outreach and things of that nature to try to assist those people starting and growing their businesses here locally.
And also, right, Dan, it's easier to get to the person at the top than sitting on hold.
That's exactly right. Yeah, like,
It's just
we have
easier to
issues,
do business with a small business.
yeah, you can get right to the person. We do see, like I said, that's they seem to service you better. They're there quicker. When you have issues, they're typically right out there. So we do see a good benefit with that. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much. And everyone who's attending, I want to thank you all for joining us, and we hope to work with you in the future. Have a great day.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.